Hi everyone, my name is Hrishi. I'm from Mumbai and I am a recovered COVID patient. I tested positive on March 22nd, and here is my story of recovery and my experience at the hospital. I'm 21 years old and I'm a student at LSE in London. Because of the COVID outbreak, me, as well as many other students, all decided to come home to our families, back to our home countries. So I flew back to Mumbai on the 17th of March, and when I flew back, I was totally healthy. I had no fever, no cough, absolutely nothing. And I passed airport checks. I was totally healthy, but despite this, my family and I decided that I should completely isolate away from them. I was fine for the first few days, but from day 2 or 3 onwards, my symptoms started to arise. These included fever, nausea, body pains, headache, fatigue, and I think on the 21st of March, which is 4 days after I landed, I was just walking around at home and I fainted, and I, unfortunately fell on my face and had some facial injuries, broke some teeth. So I think when I woke up, I called my family. They were totally calm. They just called our family doctor on the phone, and he advised me correctly to go to Kasturba Hospital in Mumbai to get myself tested.
Initially, Hrishi's parents were a little worried, but they were eventually relieved that at least he's in the hospital and is being taken care of.
The building I was staying in was quarantined, and contact tracing was done, immediately. So I was called by hospital and government officials, and they found out who I was in contact with, how did I go from airport to home, how did I go from home to hospital, who I was staying with at home. Thankfully, I was in contact with very few people because I did my best to maintain distance. We wore masks, etc. And everyone who I was in contact with was tested and was tested negative.
Hrishi got tested on 21st March, and once he was tested positive, they shifted him to another ward.
I was in a room with one other patient, and he was also a COVID positive patient. But in the morning, nurses were in and they were doing all sorts of tests: X-ray, BP, blood test, blood oxygen, all sorts of things. And that's when I think more close monitoring was done on every patient. When I was kept in the ward, I was initially with one other person, and then I was transferred to another ward where there were 2 other people in my room, and it was generally a ward with multiple rooms. And there was no restriction on your phone or laptops, or it wasn't too. Obviously, the first few days are a bit feel a bit nervous, but docs and nurses are always taking rounds and checking up on you, which is reassuring. There are also people in the room, which is nice because it's a lot less lonely, and I ended up making some nice ward buddies. And they're constantly doing tests and checking stuff like BP and blood oxygen. They're also giving you medicines regularly, such as multivitamins and stuff. And also, we're given breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And mainly, it's just a matter of taking rest, drinking plenty of fluids, taking your medicines. And the food at the hospital is just regular, it feels like a home-cooked meal. For 19 days I spent in the hospital, and I walked out without paying a penny. No, the treatment was great. They're really doing the best they can. I think it's easy to criticize government facilities, but when you're on the ground and there are so many patients and they're just running around all the time, and they're constantly checking every patient, doing tests, making sure everyone's okay. They're doing the best they can. I have nothing but gratitude to everyone who took care of me. It's been exactly 14 days since my discharge from the hospital. I had to do another precautionary 14-day quarantine, so I just completed that today. I feel fine now. Yeah, I feel totally fine. seems that you can't really predict how this virus is going to affect you. It's also a very contagious virus. So if there's anything I'd like to say, it's to stay indoors, stay safe, just follow the state's orders and